Hello and welcome to BW TV. As we inch closer to the World MSME Day on 27th June, BW Businessworld takes a special deep dive into what's happening and what's latest in the country's MSME sector. The states obviously are at the forefront of it, and Andhra Pradesh especially since the last year when the new government took oath under the leadership of N. Chandrababu Naidu, has announced a slew of initiatives to take forward the MSME growth story. To understand more as to what these initiatives are and what is the government's broad vision for MSMEs, today I'm joined by the state's MSME minister, Mr. Kondapalli Srinivas, who's going to talk to us about in depth as to what's happening with this sector. Mr. Srinivas, thank you so much for your time and joining us. My first question to you, ambitious target of 20 lakh jobs this government has set, and MSMEs are, expected to play a vital role in this. So tell me a bit on how do you plan to translate this vision into reality, and what's your sense of vision, overall vision for the MSME sector?
Very happy that I'm here. I wanted to say that, as an election promise, Honorable Chief Minister wanted to convey to the youth of Andhra Pradesh, saying that the new government will actually focus on how do we create employment, how do we create the opportunities to the young youth who have graduated from the colleges and were wishingly seeing for an opportunity to get a job or do some sort of entrepreneurship. So for that, Honorable Chief Minister has rightly planned, has taken initiative of creating 20 lakh jobs in the state of Andhra Pradesh. So for that, he has envisioned how do we do that. For that, he has identified the list of departments which could possibly create employment in the state, out of which MSME is one such department which could create entrepreneurship in the state of Andhra Pradesh and see in a way that this would create a self-employment, and in turn, it will also create an employment for the rural Andhra Pradesh. As you know that MSME is one industry, all the industries which are under MSME, for every possible 1 crore of investment, it could create 15 jobs. So whereas a large industry could create only 1 job for 1 crore investment, but whereas for MSME, for every investment of 1 crore, there is a likely chance of creating 15 jobs. So definitely under this MSME department, he wanted to create 5 lakh jobs in the next 5 years, for the period of 5 years, out of which he wanted to ensure that what is the department, how do we empower the MSMEs, how can we create a facility where the industries could easily be grounded, and what is the level of support which is needed for them. So for that, he has chosen for the basic thing is infrastructure. So he has planned 175 industrial MSME parks in 175 constituencies. And for the micro industries, he has envisioned for flatted factories, because with 1,000 square feet of area, micro industry can be established either for manufacturing or for a service industry. So he has envisioned that each constituency should have a flatted factory as well. So this would actually create a lot of infrastructure for upcoming entrepreneurs, and apart from that, he has also brought in a nice policy where a lot of support from the government can be reached. So and not only that, he has envisioned the R&D centers, the knowledge centers for MSME. He has conceptualized the concept of Ratan Tata Innovation Hub, which primarily works as a hand-holding system for MSMEs, because as an MSME, you need to have a better technology for getting better outputs. So he wanted to ensure that the startups or the existing industry should have a good knowledge center. So he has brought in the hub and spoke model, where the hub will be in the capital region and the spoke will be entire state, spread across the states with 5 zones. So in each zone, he has identified what are the industries and what are the possible industries in that particular zone, and try to get a knowledge partner, which will be a private partner who is involved in corporate. So they can actually ensure that these startups or existing industries can get the good technology support. In terms of technology support, in terms of creating IPRs, or in terms of getting a venture capital as well. So he wanted to conceptualize the entire knowledge base, partnering with the corporate in that way, so that the reach can be established in a faster way. So he's very he wanted to ensure that knowledge is one thing which revives the industry, because technology, we have very good technology worldwide, and we can establish that knowledge base in these centers, so that the new micro, small and medium industries can utilize the technology and correct their business process and establish themselves as the better players in the market. So this is how the Honorable Chief Minister wanted to support the MSMEs.
Right, and quite rightly, I think this whole idea of having parks, these MSME parks in all 175 constituencies is very inclusive. You mentioned about technology and the collaboration with the industry. But Minister, one of the biggest things that plagues this sector is the access of capital, subsidies and incentives. And under this new policy, this has been the focus of the government. So how would you ensure, on this aspect that, it actually reaches on the ground and there are no derailments on the capital and subsidies, incentives part, if you can share some light?
So as you rightly said, these 175 parks is actually creating opportunities in the rural Andhra Pradesh as well. So we want to ensure that people in the rural area could get this opportunity of establishing an industry and also getting a job in the rural area itself, because we wanted to ensure that the rural areas will not migrate to the big centers, the towns and cities. So we want to retain the rural youth and ensure that they get a good opportunity in the rural areas. That is foremost. That is the vision of Honorable Chief Minister. And apart from that, he has brought in the best policy. The policy we have verified, we have communicated, and we have reviewed all the policies in the state and the world. What is the best thing to do? So we have given the capital subsidy. We have given a capital subsidy of 25% of the capital investment. And for the women entrepreneurs and people coming from backward class and scheduled castes and minorities, they are getting 45% of capital subsidy, which is not there in any other state. And apart from that, he is giving the power subsidy at a low cost, so that 1 rupee per unit for 5 years with the cap of 1 lakh. So these things are purely will help the MSMEs. Implemental steps. There is a concept of power audit. Whoever does the power audit, he gets incentivized. And there's a concept of water audit, he gets incentivized. And not only that, the entire incentive system is going to be happened in the escrow system, because we are trying to analyze that the government should not delay the incentive. So for that, he wanted to establish an escrow system where the incentive will directly come to the industry without the involvement of the government. So he wanted to formulate that, and we're working on that. So that will actually revive the industry, because first of its model, where Honorable Chief Minister, he wanted that the incentive portion should not delay the industry, should not keep the industry waiting for that incentive. So he has planned for it in a very nice way.
Absolutely. Minister, if I want to understand some sectoral breakdown, now what I read, Andhra Pradesh is being touted as the only state to host industrial nodes under 3 separate corridors. Now, please explain what it means on the ground, and where does MSME fit when we speak about these industrial nodes?
So as a state of Andhra Pradesh, we are geographically well placed. That's the advantage the state is having. So we have 3 good corridors. One is the Chennai corridor, and one that connecting between Tirupati and Chennai to Bangalore, and one Bangalore to Hyderabad. So most of these 3 corridors are actually traveling around the state, within the state. So most of the land which is going, the industrial corridors, is within the state. And we identified near about 2 lakh acres of land under these 3 corridors where the industries can be established. So we are actually bringing in large industries in these corridors, so that a lot of ancillaries can be created. So we identified a corridor where, especially on the defense and aerospace. And yes, and we identified a cluster where the automobile section will be. We have big industries which are already in there, and we wanted to see that other industries coming in that place, and in the sector of automobile, and we have a bulk drug cluster, node as well, where the bulk drug we identified a lot of pharma industries will be coming in, where the coastal line is there. And the best part is we have a good plan for ports. So we have a large ports which are being constructed, and this connectivity will open up opportunities from the entire world. So these three corridors will definitely help Andhra Pradesh in getting large industries, and in turn it will actually create ancillary units in the form of MSMEs.
Right. And the state also has a big focus on green energy. Anything on that front as well?
So we already have the largest spectrum on the green energy, because Honorable Chief Minister believes that the future is about net zero. The products which are coming from net zero. So there is, in Europe, you have seen that a product which is getting manufactured from green energy has a special price apart from the regular commodity. So he wanted to ensure that the new Andhra Pradesh should certainly use the green energy. So for that he has done a lot of MOUs with solar projects and pumped energy and green hydrogen as well. In the last 1 year, close to 6 lakh crores of investment is primarily being done under this green energy. So we want to ensure that the future Andhra Pradesh will use the green energy in their manufacturing sector, and so that the products built in Andhra Pradesh can get an additional price to the entire world. So,
Minister, you mentioned the aerospace and defence sector, and rightly so, after the recent Operation Sindoor and the gains that India achieved after that operation, this sector is heavily in focus. You have an annual 100 crore fund for that as well now. But MSMEs, and this is a very important strategic sector from national security point of view, and is a very compliance heavy sector. How do you think MSMEs can be readied for this highly compliant sector? What sort of training, what's your overall vision when you look at MSMEs and this aerospace and defence sector?
See, so there is a big opportunity that the country is being taken. So because the country, Honorable Prime Minister wanted to encourage the defence and aerospace sector in the private node. And the state of Andhra Pradesh wanted to take an advantage of it in the form of formulating the policy, so that lot of investments can be done in that sector. So lot of scope is there in that particular area, because as such, Honorable Chief Minister says about quantum computing. He has given a space for quantum valley, which would actually create a lot of futuristic technology. In the same way, he wanted to ensure that the futuristic technology which is there possibly create more opportunities. He wanted to adopt that industry within the state. So for that, he is trying to bring in a good policy where a lot of defence and aerospace industries could come and invest in the state of Andhra Pradesh. He wanted to incentivize that. He wanted to get the technology, so that the technology can be in a way that anyone who's having a good technology in the area can be incentivized in the form of a proper support. So that will actually create a lot of opportunity in the state of Andhra Pradesh. You know that 30 years ago, when Honorable Chief Minister was saying about IT, nobody believed that IT is going to revive in the Hyderabad city. So he envisioned that 30 years ago. So he thinks that the future is about the new technologies. So he wanted to ensure that the state of Andhra Pradesh, if you could adopt them, definitely a lot of progressive approach can be adopted in the state of Andhra Pradesh.
Absolutely. I also want to understand a bit more on skill development, since when we're talking about MSMEs and the people employed in that sector, constant skilling, upskilling is an important part. And the CDAP, which is Society for Employment Generation and Enterprise Development, it has an aim to skill 60,000 youth annually. So what sort of curriculum changes, given the changes, advancements in technology or the changes in the economy you're seeing, the new emerging sectors, how can that curriculum be aligned with these changing needs?
So as such, my young minister, my Honorable HRD Minister, Nara Lokesh Garu, is heading this department. he wanted to ensure that the education system has to be revived so that the education should happen what the industry is wanted. So he wanted to reduce the gap between what is the curriculum in the college and what the industry is looking at. Because there is a big gap, there is a bridge. So he wanted to bridge that and he wanted to make it shortened. So for that he has doing a lot of effort in reviving the curriculum. So he has brought in the best people to understand the real problem statement and reduce the gap. But whereas for the skill development, he wanted to ensure that how can we reach the skilling in an efficient way where the industry could be supported and the young youth can be easily placed. So we think with using CDAP and there is a skill development corporation, these two departments are helping a lot in terms of getting the institutes, training the young students, and there are few private institutes where they're helping the young youth in getting into entrepreneurship as well. So the CDAP is doing both. CDAP is helping the big institutes and helping the training, and few of the private institutes who are also helping them to getting trained on entrepreneurship as well. So which is very good for the state of Andhra. But 60,000, we're trying to maximize that, with the support of my Honorable Minister. He's trying to maximize that into 2 lakhs, so that could actually help the the rural youth and youth a lot. Yes.
Minister, you're also the Minister for Elimination of Rural Poverty. Yes. And I was going through one of these initiatives, which is called the Zero Poverty P4, right? Public-Private People Partnership Plan, which was launched in March 25. Now, interestingly, it says that this program enlists the wealthiest 10% of the state to mentor and support the bottom 20% through structured partnerships. Now, in the last 1 year, you're seeing that wealth inequality is a very politically charged issue. But here, when we are looking at this policy, it sort of brings that collaborative approach between the top 10% and the people at the bottom of the pyramid. So a bit more on this policy and how do you see this collaboration happening?
You should see the vision of Honorable Chief Minister. So no other state has a combination of this ministry. So I am the Ministry for SCRP and the Ministry for MSME. So in SCRP, we deal with SHG women. So primarily the rural women who are in the villages, who can get together and try to establish some sort of livelihood and get empowered socially and financially. Because the entire idea of SCRP is how do we eliminate poverty in the rural area. Because if you see, 30 years ago when Honorable Chief Minister adopted this model, the Dwakra groups, it was formulated well in Andhra Pradesh, and later in 2000 it is adopted by the entire country. So it is a brainchild of our Honorable Chief Minister, because he wanted to ensure that the only way we can eradicate poverty is if you could train the rural women about well-being, financial literacy, how do you lead your life, how well you can educate your children. All these aspects were discussed 30 years ago, where the entire country was following it. Entire country was, followed through that model. And initially, he has linked a corpus of 10,000 for each group. So this 10,000 from the state government and 10,000 from the self-fundraising, with 20,000 together, they were able to do some sort of livelihood activity. So later, he took the help of World Bank and he did the lot of financing at the rural women. So which later helped, eradicating the microfinancing as well. Because we had in early post 2000, we had the problem of microfinancing. So as such, this concept has helped the rural Andhra Pradesh a lot in terms of getting the finance and getting their problems solved. Because there are a lot of women, they wanted a small loan to do their agriculture, their livelihood activities, their education, their children education, or their marriage needs, any children getting married. So they don't have to take loan outside. They can take loan under this, SHG bank linkage and get in a better way. So all these things has happened in a very better way. Now Honorable Chief Minister wanted how do we increase the livelihoods in the rural area? Because for poverty elimination, one has to come out of poverty. Their income has to be doubled, because the income which is there in the rural area has to be increased. And what are the ways of doing the doing the income level, raising the income levels? So for that, you have to create a ecosystem where the woman could do some sort of livelihoods, some sort of livelihood which could actually give an additional income for them. So he envisioned that in this government, he guided us in a way that telling that, so you identify a model where you can get the technology, get the private partner, make this woman give the work, align some technology, train them, and ensure that their income gets increased. So this is the model which Honorable Chief Minister has guided for us, and now he wanted to adopt the P4 model, so which is very much discussed in the entire state. But if you see, you think that the 10%, top 10% is helping the bottom 20%. But it is not about giving the money. It is about how you actually handle the family, because he's understanding how do you map the family to one, one family. You can adopt a family, because earlier we see that, under the call of Honorable Prime Minister, corporates used to adopt a village.
Right. Even MPs used to.
Even MPs used to adopt one village and do all the basic amenities in that village. But my Chief Minister, he wanted to ensure that if you can adopt one family, try to understand their capabilities, what are the skilled, and what is their current living conditions. How can you empower them? Because there are a lot of government policies, government schemes which are there, which this family doesn't know. So if you can connect them with a proper mechanism, so definitely they can raise up to their social economic condition. So for that, he wanted to ensure that if you can map, the target is high, but in the next 1 year, he wanted to target for 15 lakh families to bring above the poverty line. So for that, he trying to motivate the entire state, the top 10%, so that they actually do the hand-holding system in a way that they come out to use these livelihood activities, or make the children give some proper education, or give whatever they're having. They might be getting underpaid. So they get guided properly, that they get well paid. So all these sort of things are being formulated and going to be adopted in a large way. He wanted to ensure that the state of Andhra Pradesh should come out of poverty line. The income level should be raised up every year. He is aspiring for a growth of 15% every year. So for that, the state has to work, because if you don't aspire 15%, the inflation in the country, it's also there. So he wanted to ensure that the best way the people has to prosper in a way that we aligned the private people to ensure this growth goes in a better way. Yes.
Very rightly put, Minister. And my last question to you, what would be your message to position Andhra Pradesh as the most MSME-friendly state, given we have industrial policies from competing states like Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu? What would be your message?
So as a Indian, first we have to think that India should actually prosper in MSME. India should actually the focus for the entire world, because we are very good in understanding the technology. We are very good in organizing the things, and we are very good in adapt to, and we are very submissive. We in every, because I've been entire world, I've seen Indians doing well in the entire world. They are able to succeed. They were able to do well when compared to others. So we are no lesser than any other country. But the government is giving the right support now under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister and the Chief Minister of all the state. We are trying to get a good model where the entire world could look at India. The similar way, it is a very good competitive spirit within the states, trying to adopt the best way out, so that one policy which comes into the state a successful model can be adopted in the other states. So every state is doing good, and Andhra Pradesh wanted to do, because we got separated from United Andhra Pradesh 10 years ago. There's a lot to do within the state, and Honorable Chief Minister is guiding us in the best way out, so that he wanted to believe that think world as a market. So don't think India as a market. He says that there are opportunities around the world. You try to understand world and see get a model which could be adopted and produced in India and manufactured in India and marketed in the entire world. So definitely I would like to say that MSME, micro should go into small should go into medium, and medium should go into large. And the government is helping in all ways. The government is giving the CGTMSC support. A lot of industries could get loan without any collateral. And there are a lot of support in terms of common facility centers where the MSMEs can club together and take a collective approach where the technology can be shared and amenities can be shared. So there are a lot of good policies altogether. And with the concept of Ratan Tata Innovation Hub, I'm hoping that the MSMEs will get a good knowledge base. So definitely the education system which is there, R&D which is there in the universities can be easily transferred to the industry side as well. So we're hoping for a good future for all the MSMEs.
Well, very rightly put, sir. And our wishes to you. Thank you so much for your time this evening and talking to us on this special day. So that was the Minister for MSMEs and Elimination of Rural Poverty, Government of Andhra Pradesh, Mr. Kondapalli Srinivas, who was telling about the recent initiatives which have been put in place by the Andhra Pradesh government to promote MSMEs, a big contributor to the state's economy, nearly 30%, and really how all of it will fall in place to position the state as one of the most friendly MSME states in the country. Thank you so much.